Welcome to CBSE English Teacher. Let's look at the line-by-line explanation of the lesson Deep Water for Class 12 English. Let's begin with the lesson now. About the author. William Orville Douglas, 1898 to 1980, born in USA. He was a leading advocate of individual rights. He was a judge at the Supreme Court of USA, retired in 1975 with a term lasting 36 years and remains the longest serving justice in the history of the court. This lesson is an excerpt taken from an autobiographical account of Man and Mountains written by him. Summary of the lesson. In this piece, he tells about his fear of water and how he conquered it by sheer determination and willpower. As a child, when he was 3 or 4 years old, he would go to the beach in California with his father. He would get scared by the might of the huge waves which swept over him, and it instilled a fear in his subconscious mind. A few years later, in his eagerness to learn swimming, he joined a swimming pool where an incident further increased his terror. He was pushed into the pool by another boy and experienced death very closely. Many years after that incident, he stayed away from water, but the desire to go fishing and swimming in nature was strong enough to motivate him to overcome his fear. He learned swimming with the help of an instructor who ensured that William knew swimming well enough to be able to swim in huge lakes and waterfalls also. Still, when he would swim, the fear from his childhood experiences, embedded in his subconscious mind, would grip him over and over again. He wanted to conquer that fear. He faced it sarcastically, thinking that now, as he knew how to swim, what harm could it do to him? He challenged his fear in the face of it, and finally it would vanish. It was a baseless fear instilled in his subconscious mind. This experience was valuable for him. He had experienced terror and death. He overcame it and finally conquered it. William realized that death is peaceful, and it is the fear of death that is terrorizing. His will to live life grew intensely as he had overcome his fear and started living fearlessly. Let's now look at the line-by-line explanation of the lesson. It had happened when I was 10 or 11 years old. I had decided to learn to swim. There was a pool at the YMCA in Yakima that offered exactly the opportunity. The Yakima River was treacherous. YMCA is the abbreviation that stands for Young Men's Christian Association. Yakima is a place in Washington, USA, and treacherous means dangerous. The writer narrates his experience. He was 10 or 11 years old when he had joined the YMCA swimming pool to learn swimming. He did not go to the Yakima River to swim as it was considered dangerous. This shows that he had a prior fear of water. Mother continually warned against it and kept fresh in my mind the details of each drowning in the river. But the YMCA pool was safe. It was only 2 or 3 feet deep at the shallow end, and while it was 9 feet deep at the other. The drop was gradual. I got a pair of water wings and went to the pool. I hated to walk naked into it and show my skinny legs, but I subdued my pride and did it. Drop means slope from the shallow area to the deep area. Water wings means a pair of inflatable waterproof bags designed so that one can be attached to each arm, especially of a child learning to swim. Skinny means thin. Subdued means to overcome, and pride means self-respect. William's mother would warn him not to go near the Yakima River and would discuss the various incidents of drowning. He felt that the pool at YMCA was safer. The shallow area of the pool was only 2 to 3 feet deep, while the deep area was 9 feet in depth. The slope from the shallow area to the deep area was not steep. He also got a pair of water wings to prevent drowning. He did not like to wear the swimming costume which exposed his thin legs, but as he was keen to swim, he gave up his self-respect and wore it. From the beginning, however, I had an aversion to the water when I was in it. This started when I was 3 or 4 years old and father took me to the beach in California. He and I stood together in the surf. I hung on to him, yet the waves knocked me down and swept over me. I was buried in water. My breath was gone. I was frightened. Father laughed, but there was terror in my heart at the overpowering force of the waves. Aversion means dislike. Surf means wave of the sea. And knocked me down means threw him down. William says that he had always disliked water and recounts an older experience when he was 3 or 4 years old. He went to the beach in California with his father. They stood as a wave leapt towards them. William stuck to his father to save himself, but the strong wave threw him down and he was covered in water. He was scared as he could not breathe. His father laughed and tried to make him feel comfortable, but the little child was scared when he realized that the waves were very powerful. My introduction to the YMCA swimming pool revived unpleasant memories and stirred childish fears. But in a little while I gathered confidence. I paddled with my new water wings, watching the other boys and trying to learn by aping them. I did this 2 or 3 times on different days and was just beginning to feel at ease in water when the misadventure happened. Revived means brought back to mind. Aping means copying. And to feel at ease means to feel comfortable. When William joined the swimming pool at the YMCA, the fear of water surfaced in his mind. He gathered confidence by watching other boys swim and tried to copy them. He had done this twice or thrice at different occasions and had started gaining confidence when the incident happened. He had a narrow escape from death. I went to the pool when no one else was there. The place was quiet, the water was still, and the tiled bottom was as white and clean as a bathtub. I was timid about going in alone, so I sat on the side of the pool to wait for others. When William reached the pool, no one was there, and so he sat on the edge waiting for other boys to arrive. He was afraid to swim all alone in the pool. As the swimming pool was empty, William could see the bottom also. It had white colored tiles on it and looked white and clean like a bathtub. I had not been there long when in came a big bruiser of a boy, probably 18 years old. He had thick hair on his chest. He was a beautiful physical specimen with legs and arms that showed rippling muscles. He yelled, "Hi skinny, how would you like to be ducked?" Bruiser means a person who is tough and aggressive and enjoys a fight or argument. Specimen means example. Skinny means a thin person. And ducked means push someone under water. It had not been long since William had been sitting by the pool when a boy arrived. He was around 18 years of age, had a well-built body with rippling muscles. He seemed to be a bully. He asked William if he wanted to be thrown into the pool. With that, he picked me up and tossed me into the deep end. I landed in a sitting position, swallowed water, and went at once to the bottom. I was frightened, but not yet frightened out of my wits. On the way down, I planned, When my feet hit the bottom, I would make a big jump, come to the surface, lie flat on it, and paddle to the edge of the pool. Tossed means threw, and wits means intelligence. The boy picked William and threw him into the deep end of the swimming pool. William landed on the surface of the pool in the same position as he had been sitting in. His mouth was open, and as he did not know swimming, he swallowed water as he sank into the pool. He was frightened, but he used his intelligence and on his way down the pool planned to push himself up when he reached the bottom. He thought that he would make a big jump to the surface, lie on his back, and swim to the edge of the pool. It seemed a long way down. Those 9 feet were more like 90, and before I touched the bottom, my lungs were ready to burst. But when my feet hit bottom, I summoned all my strength and made what I thought was a great spring upwards. I imagined I would bob to the surface like a cork. Instead, I came up slowly. I opened my eyes and saw nothing but water. Water that had a dirty yellow tinge to it. I grew panicky. I reached up as if to grab a rope and my hands clutched only at water. I was suffocating. I tried to yell but no sound came out. Then my eyes and nose came out of water but not my mouth. Summoned means gathered. Spring means push. Bob means jump. Tinge means touch of color. Suffocating means unable to breathe due to lack of air, and yell means scream. William took a long time to reach the bottom of the pool. It seemed that the depth was 90 feet instead of 9 feet. He could not hold his breath and felt as if his lungs would burst. When his feet touched the bottom of the pool, he gathered all his strength and jumped upwards. He had thought that the next moment he would come out of the pool, but the opposite happened. His movement upward was slow, and when he opened his eyes, he saw water all around which was yellowish in color. William got scared and tried to grab something, a rope, which would help him reach the edge of the pool, but he got nothing other than water. William was at a loss of breath and tried to scream for help, but no sound came out of his mouth. His nose and eyes came out of water, but his mouth remained in it.